to have pizza for you guys next time. You know? I don't blame you. Oh, God. I don't blame you. Whenever you guys are ready, just tell me when to go. All right. Thank you for coming here today. So far, we've had about 9 inches of snowfall in the city of Boston. We're expecting anywhere from 4 to 8 more inches to come into our city. We're seeing steady snowfall, about 1 inch per hour here in the city of Boston. That should be winding down. Hopefully, I don't want to take any meteorologist's job away, but by 6 o'clock. But we're expecting a long, slow tampering throughout the night of snow falling. Tonight's temperature is going to be cold in the 30s. We're going to have wind gusts of about 30 miles per hour as well. Wednesday, we also have a slight chance of snow and rain continuing to come down. Temperatures are going to be hovering around freezing, so there'll be very little melting during the day. Any melting that does happen during the day, it'll be freezing at night. As far as announcements, the snow emergency is still in effect. We don't have a time yet when that will be called off. We're going to keep that in effect right now because we need to continue to widen the main arterials and get our plows out there to try and get from curb to curb on the main streets. We'll be making an announcement tomorrow when we lift the snow emergency parking ban. The Boston Police Department and Boston Transportation Department are still ticketing and towing, so if you park your car in a place that is on a main thoroughfare, it will be towed because we do want to get to those curbs to make sure that we keep them passable, particularly for the morning commute. Tomorrow, Boston Public Schools will be closed. Boston Public Schools are working with Public Works Department for snow removal at high-capacity bus stops tomorrow. We can't get to those today, so where the kids get picked up, we'll be out there tomorrow clearing those areas to make sure that our kids are safe when they're waiting for the buses. We also have the Boston Public Schools. They're out plowing and cleaning in front of their buildings, and the Boston Center for Youth and Families doing the same thing tonight into tomorrow. We're going to continue that. But all bus stops and sidewalks definitely won't be cleared by tomorrow. So in order to make sure that we're safe, we're gonna close school tomorrow. Libraries and Boston Center for Youth and Families and City Hall all will be open tomorrow. So we will have a normal day outside from schools. All of our facilities will be open in the city of Boston tomorrow. Public Works has a full team on the roads. About 800 pieces of equipment are out there right now. Large crews are going to work through the night. They're going to salt, and then in the daytime, we're going to continue to be cleaning the streets. Street cleaning for daytime and overnight are canceled in the city of Boston. If you're out there traveling on the streets of Boston today, be very careful. The streets are very well plowed. Most streets are very well plowed, but you still have a pretty good chunk of what looks like slushy ice on the road, so we want you to be very careful. That will get to all that as the day goes on and the night goes on. Trash collection, we had great compliance there. I want to thank all the people that worked with us here in the city. Tomorrow, we're going to start trash and recycling pickup at 6 a.m. We're asking people when they put their trash out, please shovel, as you shovel your sidewalk, shovel a space where your barrels can go so the trash collectors can get to the sidewalks to pick up your barrels and recycling. We want to make sure that, that we do that. 311, since midnight last night, we've received over 1,200 calls into City Hall. We have a 98% service level. We have 30 agents taking calls as of 3 p.m. today. And I want to thank the Boston Police Cadet Program. Many of the Boston Police Cadets were here today answering phone calls, so that's why we're able to get to the phones right away. And I want to thank the people that called into City Hall to compliment the entire staff for doing an incredible job. We got a lot of those calls today. As far as trees, we have three trees down in the city of Boston. Compared to the past 2 nor'easters, we had over 200 trees come down in the city of Boston. So we're in pretty good shape there, but we're watching, maintaining, and watching to see, make sure that if you have a tree that's vulnerable in your backyard or on your house, be careful with that. Water and sewer had 2 manhole covers that were pulled off, one in Dorchester and one in West Roxbury. Both have been fixed. The crews are working now to make sure they're clearing sidewalks so we have no other serious issues out there. The Boston Home Center is recommending that people check their basements for flooding or any other issues they have. We also want to remind you when you're shoveling, make sure you shovel any vents on your home. If you have generators, keep your generators outside. Do not have your generators running in the house. Do not use your oven for heat as well. If your heat goes out, we're asking you to call 311 so we can get some folks out there in contact with your landlords. That's a safety issue, and that could cause an issue with the fire department, so we want you to be safe there. The evening commute is going to be affected by the storm. It's still, we still have a good hard snow falling, so we want people, particularly pedestrians, to be careful. Be careful of plows. Last week we had an incident at one of our hospitals in Boston where a plow driver, I don't know what happened there, but somebody got hit by a plow. You know, a lot of the snow is coming down. The plow driver's been out there for a long time. We want you to just be aware of the plows and be very careful when you're walking in the streets. There's a good chance that if you're driving, you can't hear a plow coming up behind you. So we want you to be cautious of looking around and make sure you know what's happening around you. We put on 8 additional ambulances in the city of Boston over the last 12 hours. We have 1 extra ambulance in East Boston as well. We have no real snow-related issues or injuries to report of, but we did have a home delivery of a new baby in Rosendale this morning, and I want to commend Chief Hooley and his team for delivering a baby. So we did have a snow baby delivered today. Homelessness, city and our partner shelters are open all day long. We've had Pine Street Inn has 3 outreach vans operating in the city all day and all night. So we're asking again, if you see anybody, please call 911. If anyone looks like they're in danger or distress, call 911. Our engagement center has been open since 7 o'clock this morning. We're at maximum capacity. We have 110 clients in there, which we have staff to manage the program. So we have a full engagement center, and our shelters are full as well. We will have extra beds if we need them for anybody who wants to come in, but we're making sure, keeping a special eye on the homelessness because of the weather and the coldness that's going to happen later on. Our outreach teams have been on Melina Cass Boulevard, encouraging people to come into the shelter or the drop-in engagement center. So hopefully we can get all people off the street. We're asking people again, if you see anyone, please call 911. Anyone that seems in distress. Property owners, we have, after the storm ends, we have 3 hours to shovel your walkways. I suggest you get out there if you can today. Shovel once, just because of the snow. It's a light snow that's on top, but under that light snow is a wet, heavy snow because of the rain we had last night. So we're asking people to clean your sidewalks. Don't wait till the last flake falls to start shoveling because there's a lot of snow out there. We're asking property owners to shovel your sidewalks. We're asking also to make sure that you get the pedestrian ramps if you have one in front of your whouse, or if you're on a street. If you wouldn't mind walking down to the corner and shoveling off the pedestrian ramps. As I said yesterday, that caused some problems for some folks with disabilities. Last storm we had, people were piling snow on those corners, and we weren't able to get to those corners, and people can't cross the street. So we want to make sure that we shovel those. We're also asking if you have a hydrant in front of your house, please shovel your hydrant. You could save lives if, God forbid, there's a fire in a neighborhood and the fire department comes down and has to end up shoveling out a hydrant. So we're asking you to shovel out those hydrants. For updates, one other thing, if you have elderly neighbors or housebound neighbors, or if you see no activity in some of your neighbors' homes, knock on the door. Just make sure they're okay. Check on them to make sure that they're okay because of the situation we have with the snow. Sometimes people get housebound and they won't come out. So if you see a house that's usually active and there's no one in it, no one's moving around, just make a knock on the door to make sure they're okay. For any information, go to boston.gov/winter. For any non-emergency questions or requests, please call 311 or download the City of Boston 311 app. Also, for any emergencies, we're asking you to call 911. The police department is giving rides to nurses and doctors to and from hospitals. So if you're a nurse or a doctor and you live in the City of Boston and you want a ride to work, you can call either 311 or your local police station, and we will make sure that you get there. As far as Sunday, we're looking ahead a little bit to the St. Patrick's Day Parade, the evacuation parade. No decisions have been made yet, but it's going to be very difficult, I think, to have the route that winds through South Boston because of all the snow that we're going to have. So we're going to make a determination a little later on what to do with Sunday, whether we have the parade or we cancel the parade, but we'll play it by ear and see as we go through the next few days to see how it goes. But we still have a lot of work to do as far as removal of snow. Public Works is out there now plowing. At some point, it will turn into a removal operation. There's a lot of snow in the City of Boston, so we're going to have a lot of work to do there. So we'll figure out what's happening there. Just on the budget, because I was asked yesterday and I didn't have the figures. Before the storm, we spent $16.3 million on snow this year. We have about 6.2 remaining of a budget of $22.5 million. This year, 17 storms with an average cost of about $721,000 per storm. So we didn't have storms like we did today, but we had small snow. We had ice that we had to pre-treat roads. So that's what we've done. The most costly storm of the year was January 4th storm, which cost about $3.6 million, and we have no estimates yet on what today will cost because we have a lot of work to do still over the next few days. So I'm assuming this storm will probably be around 3.6. If that's the case, it leaves us with about $3 million left for the rest of the year. If we spend it all down, we will figure out a way to pay for it. So it's not like we're not going to shovel. Open for questions.
What can you tell us about the baby delivery?
And let me have the chief. He's excited. He's speechless.
No, I mean, obviously, all I can really say without, permission from the family, it was a baby boy at home in Rosendale early this morning.
Did you get like a 911 call?
Yeah, it was a 911 call, and our ambulance 17 got there first. So it was a two-woman group, EMT. One of them, her own grandmother had been a midwife, so they were pretty comfortable at it, and it went well.
And how long were they
Mom does
there?
all the work. They weren't there long at all.
And mom and baby are good?
Yeah,
or
right,
they were
yep.
taken to the hospital?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And how do you feel about your team?
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's a nice call. Yeah.
Mayor, are some neighborhoods doing better than others, or is everybody sort of in the same boat?
No, I think everyone's in the same boat. I mean, we drove around a little bit, and many of the people behind me, Commissioner Evans has been calling me all day, and when I came in, it's some of the streets are really plowed well, which I'm pleased with. We haven't really seen we haven't seen big concerns in any particular neighborhood. I think we have about 280 power outages in the city of Boston as of right now, which we've been pretty lucky there. We have a emergency shelter ready to go in case there's a situation where we have a major power outage or something that has to happen. But right now, I think we haven't gotten, one part of the city hasn't called and said that, we've felt abandoned. So we're going to continue to monitor calls. If we get a call like that where we get a large amount of calls from a certain neighborhood, we will shift some resources over to that neighborhood if it's been forgotten.
Your major concern moving forward into the evening hours, what is the most
Biggest concern is just making sure that people are safe in their home. I think number one priority is making sure the roads are ready for tomorrow, opening up the roadways as best we can, and later on tonight we'll be switching over to heavy salt and salting the roads to make sure it melts the ice that's out there. Next concern would be to make sure, really honestly, people shovel their sidewalks, businesses shovel their sidewalks, no plowing into the street, particularly after the snow's over. If you're digging your car out, we don't want you throwing it back in the street, because in the past we've gotten complaints that it looks like a street hasn't been plowed when it has been. And making sure you clean those catch basins, fire hydrants, and handicap ramps. And I think just making sure people are safe. I mean, that's really the biggest concern we have right now. We had a nice story here from Chief Hooley about a baby being born, and then I talked to Commissioner Finn from the fire department, and we had another person die of a cardiac arrest. So I mean, it's tough when you get an emergency situation in your home and you look outside and you see, a foot of snow, you panic. So we want to make sure that our services can get there right away if need be.
Was the cardiac arrest related to shoveling?
No.
And as soon as snow stops this evening, what time will the city start ticketing for folks who didn't shovel their walks tomorrow?
Generally it's 3 hours after a storm. So let's assume the storm stops at 6. I mean, it looks like it's coming down heavy right now again. You get 3 hours after, but probably tomorrow morning. I mean, it'll be in the morning. I mean, I don't think we're gonna have crews out there tonight ticketing people, but if you wait till the morning to ticket, if you wait till the morning to shovel, don't be surprised. You'll see crews out there looking in neighborhoods. Again, it's about making sure that people walking to work and getting around, that they want to get there.
Mayor, what would the issues be with the parade at this point? Just the snow piling
Yeah,
up on the
it's just,
sidewalk?
what happens is, I mean, as you know, people shovel out their cars. There's not a lot of place to put the snow. Particularly in South Boston, Dorchester, a lot of neighborhoods, you don't have a front yard or a backyard, so you pile it between cars. So right now, it looks like could be 12 inches of snow between the cars. By 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, it's going to be 4 or 5 feet. We don't have the ability. It would cost millions and millions of dollars to clear out every corner of every street in any neighborhood for a parade, but in South Boston. So in the past, what we've done, we've shifted the parade route over to Broadway. We've done this twice now, and we've been able to get to Broadway to clean it. So that's a decision that we're working with the Allied Ward veterans on to decide where they want to go. We've had some conversations already today, waiting for them to come back with an answer. They need to come back with an answer pretty soon, because the decision on Sunday, leading up to Sunday, could be if it seems dangerous out there, even though it won't have snowed in 3 days, if we can't clear the routes, we don't want to bring people in standing on snow piles while there's a parade going on and causing danger for folks.
What was the biggest factor in canceling school?
Just getting the sidewalks cleared. You know, the storm is gonna continue to linger on till, I mean, 6 o'clock is gonna be one of the areas that it's gonna snow until then. We're looking for maybe 3 more hours of you know, continuing snowing. Not heavy, but floating around. The streets won't be ready. And the bus stops that on the corners where the kids will be waiting for the bus in the morning, we won't get to those stops tonight. So we want to make sure that those stops are clear so the kids can come and wait for the buses. So as I said from the very beginning, me in this job, I'm always going to be on the side of caution rather than force something. And it's still going to be tough out there tomorrow. I mean, it's going to be the commute's going to be slow. So we're asking people tomorrow to be careful, be slow. You know, even though employers are going to be working tomorrow, we're asking be lenient with your employees tomorrow because they're going to have a difficult time probably getting to work, getting out of the home, getting out of their house, and getting to work. So that's my biggest concern is safety for the kids. So I'd rather be safe than not be safe.
It is National Walkout Day.
Yeah, it is.
So, you know, the kids who don't have school, they're likely still going to be.
Yeah, no, and we will. We hope that you know. I've talked to some of the kids. We've had some conversations. So a lot of them are going to go to the State House. So tomorrow will be a day if they go to the State House to talk to the legislators about what's happening. You know, we're going to make sure that we have police out on the streets doing traffic tomorrow. So we'll make sure the kids are safe getting to the schools, and you know, and I commend the kids. I mean, they're going to pass a very important message along to legislators. And you know, here in Massachusetts, we have the toughest gun laws in the country. But one of the young people asked me the other day, what can I do? I know our laws are tough. Go to the State House, talk to a legislator, ask them to call another legislator in another part of the country about their laws in their states. And I think that if we could get 49 other states to follow us in our gun laws, we'd be a lot better country. I mean, I think, so I commend the young people for doing that tomorrow.
Do you think it's a good idea for them to do it tomorrow rather than maybe in a couple of days when
Well,
the city's able to get on top of it?
I think tomorrow's the National Day walkout, so I don't think you can, I mean, the rest of the country's gonna be doing it, so I think it's very difficult to change something like that. If it was a Boston-based walkout for something, I'd suggest that they wait. But because it's a national, I think that, and these are high school kids, so the public transportation will be working tomorrow. Many of them take public transportation anyway when they go to school, so they're familiar with the system and how they get there. So I don't think the crowd probably as big as it would have been, but certainly, again, I support the kids. I mean, certainly the NRA and Congress, particularly some of the other people in Congress, they're not listening to adults, so maybe they will listen to young people who are going to vote, and maybe they'll listen to young people who are actually going to pass a message along. And I commend the young people for being in this. You know, I talked to one of them yesterday, and I said, or Saturday, and I said, you know, I'll do whatever you want to help. And they go, no, this isn't about politicians. This is about us. I'm like, absolutely. So, you know, I commend them for doing this. Any other questions?
Are you worried at all about people who've been violating the parking ban? Are they going to inhibit clearing the roads for tomorrow?
They'll be towed. The parking emergency is still in effect, so transportation's out there, police are out there. If they see somebody parking on the street, they're getting towed. So again, it's not something you want to do, or something that you're excited about doing, towing cars, because it costs a lot of money. But you have to, because what happens is if you don't get that snow off the street, it's going to cause other problems for folks. And I think that the garages pull into a garage, park at a garage, and then we will get plenty of notice tomorrow when we're going to lift the ban so that people will be able to get their cars back out of those garages, back onto the streets. All right. Thank you.